friends, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're going to be talking about some rockets which are going to the moon. More specifically, we are talking about some tech stocks which are personally on my watch list that I think have really good long-term potential. And before we get into the video, I did want to mention that I'm not a financial advisor and this is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any of these stocks. I'm just sharing my own personal watch list and the reasons why I do like these stocks. But it is super important that you do your own research. So let's jump into it. So the first one is Etsy. So Etsy is an online marketplace which connects buyers and sellers. And most of the sellers specialize in making handmade items. So this is an item that I actually bought on Etsy. It's a face mask and I've used it so many times and it's really good quality. And you guys know me, I am a bit of a minimalist and I don't really like buying things unnecessarily, but I have bought quite a few things on Etsy in the past. So I figured that if even I'm shopping on Etsy for a couple of things here and there, I think there's definitely a market for this. And one of my philosophies is to invest in businesses that I personally believe in and I personally shop at. So Etsy, I think, is a really awesome platform. Not only does it connect buyers and sellers of particular handmade items, which is good for the sellers because they don't really have to have a lot of middlemen between themselves and their buyers, but it's also good for buyers as well because a lot of the items that you can find on Etsy are a really good price because you're connected directly with the makers of these items. So over the past couple of months especially, I've noticed a huge uptick in the amount of people purchasing things on Etsy and also creating their online stores on Etsy. So enough about what Etsy does, let's jump into the financials and find out more about Etsy. So revenue has been increasing year on year for the past 9 years and they actually cracked $1 billion last year. Free cash flow has also been increasing year on year for the past 9 years. And I do like to have a look at free cash flow in the companies that I do invest in, just in case anything happens in the future. I know that the companies that I have invested in have a bit of a cash buffer just to put out any fires that come their way. And they do have a pretty healthy amount of $670 million. Return on invested capital for Etsy is above 10% for the past 4 years. And in 2020, it was above 25%. The only thing about Etsy though is the PE ratio of Etsy is quite high. At the moment, it's 75 times. And generally, I do like to invest in undervalued businesses, and undervalued is a PE ratio anywhere from 15 to 25 times. However, Etsy did double their revenue in 2020, and they have been growing really, really well, especially for the past couple of years. So if this growth continues, and I don't really see them slowing down anytime soon, then potentially this could be a business that I will look at investing in, just perhaps not at the current valuation and the current share price. And by the way, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure you turn this video from undervalued to fairly valued by gently tapping the like button below. And if you would also like a tool which can help you in your stock research process, I've also created this stock research checklist, which basically goes through all of the points that I look at in an individual stock before I invest in them. This stock research checklist is $19 and you can get it below. I've put quite a lot of work into this research checklist and it also comes with a video to show you where you can actually find all of the numbers and research when you are investing and doing your research on individual stocks. So if you would like to check it out, make sure you click the link in my description below. So the second tech stock on my watch list is NIO. So now that I have bitten the bullet and I've invested in Tesla, another stock on my watch list is NIO. NIO is essentially the Tesla of China. And while I guess you could say that NIO and Tesla are competitors in the electric vehicle space, I think that they are also quite complementary as well because they do target different markets and they do have the support of the governments behind them. Did you know that China actually has the biggest EV market in the world? And this is only poised to grow and grow in the future. And I was watching a video by CNBC the other day, which I found really, really fascinating. And it did say that there will be a shortage of electric vehicle batteries in the future, especially in the next few years as more and more mainstream car makers start to create their own electric vehicles to compete with Tesla. And China is currently the biggest producer of electric vehicle batteries in the world. So I think that this will only make NIO and some other Chinese manufacturers more valuable in the future as the American market does try to keep up with the demand of electric vehicle batteries. So let's jump into the financials of NIO. So revenue has been increasing year on year, but they are a very, very young company and they were founded in just 2014. So the revenue numbers for NIO only go back to 2018. Their free cash flow used to be in the negatives, but they've recently turned into positive free cash flow, and now they have $823 million in positive free cash flow, which is a really good sign. Return on invested capital is still currently in the negatives, which isn't a great sign. However, they are getting closer and closer to having a positive return on invested capital. NIO is currently unprofitable, so we don't really have a PE ratio for them at the moment. However, their price to book ratio is 14.43 times. And just for context, an undervalued stock is generally around 1 to 3 times for their PB ratio. So in short, I think that NIO is a really cool, innovative company, and I think that they do have some really cool growth potential over the next couple of years. However, if I was to invest in NIO, it would be more of as a speculative investment since they are currently unprofitable. So the third tech stock on my watch list is PayPal. So even though PayPal has been around for a really, really long time, I think that they are constantly innovating and acquiring businesses which are doing really cool things in the space. PayPal makes online payments easier, safer, and more convenient. Most e-commerce websites do have PayPal as a payment processor, and the way that PayPal makes money is they do take a small transaction fee from all of the payments which are processed using their technology. And this payment processing fee is usually 2.6%. And the fee is usually paid for by the merchant and not the consumer. I think that PayPal continues to make really great acquisitions over the past couple of years, adding to their suite of different brands and different products, all to do with the online payment space. For example, they acquired Braintree in 2013, and this enables e-commerce websites to seamlessly integrate PayPal into their site. They also acquired Venmo, which is a massive payment processor in the US, and it basically targets millennials and Gen Z, making it easier and easier to send your friends money without having to put in your friends' bank details. They also recently acquired Honey, which is an amazing Chrome extension that I use to basically find coupons automatically for me and automatically apply them to my shopping cart. Honey is also starting to branch out into the cashback and reward system as well. So now we know a bit more about PayPal and also the acquisitions that PayPal has made. Let's jump into the financials. So revenue has been going up year on year substantially over the past 10 years. So in 2012, they made $6 billion. And in 2020, they made $21 billion, which is an increase of 3.5 times in just 8 years. Most of their revenue comes from transaction fees, and they charge these transaction fees to merchants. The return on invested capital for PayPal has been above 10% for most years, and this shows that the management team of PayPal is really using the money effectively to grow the business. So the fourth tech stock on my watch list is Alibaba. So Alibaba is essentially the Amazon of China, but I think that it is also quite complementary to Amazon as well, since they do focus mainly on business-to-business purchases. They have 4 main segments, so core commerce, cloud computing, digital media, and entertainment. They own a range of different businesses, including Alibaba, Alipay, Alibaba Cloud, and a few other businesses in the cloud computing, e-commerce, and media space. And full disclosure, I do own some Alibaba stocks at the moment. I purchased some shares of Alibaba a couple of months ago when the price of Alibaba shares dropped by 30% from its all-time highs. During this period of time when there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding the company, Jack Ma hadn't been seen currently, and he did have a couple of issues with the Chinese government. And there were some rumors that there were some antitrust regulations which were coming into play from the Chinese government, and this could potentially really affect Alibaba as a business. Thankfully, Jack Ma has made a public appearance since. However, there is also still a bit of uncertainty around whether or not some of these antitrust regulations could ever really come into play and affect Alibaba. So there is always a risk when you are investing in international businesses and just businesses in general, because the governments can step in and restrict the growth of any company, really. I also saw the other day that Charlie Munger, which is Warren Buffett's right-hand man, actually made a really, really big purchase in Alibaba the other day. Alibaba makes up a pretty big portion of Charlie Munger's current portfolio. It's actually his third biggest holding outside of Bank Bank of America and Wells Fargo. He invested over $37 million of Alibaba shares during March 2021, which I thought was pretty interesting because Alibaba isn't your typical value stock, but when you actually look at the PE ratio of Alibaba, at the time of recording this video, it was only 26 times. And when you compare that to the PE ratio of Amazon at the time of recording this video, which was 72 times. So when you look at the PE ratio, you can see that Alibaba stock does have better value than Amazon stock. So the fifth tech stock on my watch list is Square. So Square is a company which allows small businesses to accept card payments a lot easier than traditional EFTPOS machines. They have a ton of different products, including Square Stand, which allows small businesses to set up their point of sale solutions on an iPad. They also have Square Terminal, which is a payment device and also a receipt printer. It accepts multiple different card payments and allows you to tap, dip, and swipe. Square was founded in only just 2009, and now it's in multiple different countries worldwide, including the US, Canada, Japan, Australia, and the UK. So let's get into the reasons why I like Square as a business. So the first reason is that it's a founder-led business. Jack Dorsey is the CEO and co-founder of Square, and he is also the co-founder of Twitter as well. Jack Dorsey is a brilliant man, and he has founded many successful businesses. So I do have full faith in him as a CEO. And since it is a founder-led business, I think that he just has a little bit more drive to make this business really succeed than just a regular CEO that didn't co-found the business. Because this business is essentially his baby, he will do anything in his power to make sure that this business really grows and thrives and succeeds. The next reason I like Square as a business is that it really fills a great need in the market to allow small businesses to accept card payments. Not only do they make their card readers a lot more slick than traditional EFTPOS machines, but they also make it cheaper as well for small businesses. And I think that this is a space that will only just continue to grow and thrive in the future. Now that they have so many different merchants all around the world using their products, they can potentially really expand into different markets and offer new product lines to really benefit their base of core small businesses. Revenue has also been increasing year on year for the past 7 years. Return on invested capital, though, is currently quite low, from 5 to 15% in the past 3 years. But they do have quite a lot of money in free cash flow at currently $243 million, which is a pretty good sign. The only thing that makes me a little bit hesitant to invest in them is their PE ratio is ridiculously high at the moment. At the time of recording this video, it was 532 times, which is really high. So potentially it's a business that I will just add to my watch list and see in the future if it does potentially get cheaper and into a range that I'm comfortable with. So those are the 5 tech stocks on my watch list. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did like this video, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos about investing and personal finance. And I do have a link in my description below to my stock research checklist, so you can really do your proper due diligence whenever you are investing in a stock. So if you would like to check it out, I've got a link in my description below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye! And if you'd like to see some more videos, I've got some links to some videos here, so make sure you click the links and click through to another video.